the confirmation. So this workshop basically the idea was, in fact, I was told to talk about some kind of online teaching. So we are facing a lot of problem because I don't know about the other people, but the teacher are basically always on job. We are 24 hours on job, and right now also we are on duty itself. So our main job is to take classes, and this is what we had been doing, and even we are not free right now. Somehow we are actually trying to manage our classes. All those things are being managed either through WhatsApp or through some people are using Google Meet, somebody is using Zoom, but somehow we are actually connected. The thing was to give a particular training session on learning management system, which is Moodle. We decided that before getting into that learning management system, we should actually get into some kind of a lesson plan development, which is actually very, very essential for everybody. For any teacher, a lesson plan development is a very essential part. In fact, the term which I have kept, because even my mentor is there, Dr. Srivatsan is there. So the term which I have kept as executable lesson plan. So the idea is lesson plan, whatever we decide, should be executable. It should not be theoretical. That is why we are talking about the executable lesson plan, which is going to be utilized by each and every teacher. Okay, so let me share my screen and I'll start my presentation. Okay, so I hope everybody can see the screen. So the topic which I have kept over, that is an online workshop on developing an executable lesson plan. So this is the first day session which I will be talking about, that how can we develop an executable lesson plan and how it is going to be effective to our students. So, a very good morning to all of you. My name is Dr. Priyank Kumar. I'm an assistant professor in the Department of Space Engineering and Rocketry, VIT Mesra. I hope most of you know about this institute. Just presenting a very profile of. I'm basically a mechanical engineer. In space engineering and rocketry. I'm a PhD in aerospace. My area of expertise is experimental aerodynamics, dealing with fluid dynamics part. I'm involved in digital pedagogy, e-learning, content development, etc. I have experience of around 12 years. I joined the institute in 2000.
Excuse me, there is an echo.
To the teaching part. Again, I'll request microphone is mute because you're getting a lot of noise.
Sorry to disturb you, please. Again, I do hope that somebody has right now and they are still put up their microphone because a huge echo is emerging.
Some of my achievements, I have few papers. Projects available. I have a special project.
Excuse me. I'm unable to hear you. I'm unable to hear you. There is an echo.
Everybody has to mute his microphone. Microphone को mute करें. I had been the coordinator for Srivatsan. Directed Chinmaya Institute. I need to give you a very brief history of India. Hello? I need to give you a very brief history of education system in India. So the thing is, the education system in India is a very old one. We have been into this education system since time. Say for example, the Vedas were written in around 1500 or so. In fact, we have heard of Nalanda University, which was actually at around 2nd century or so. This itself says that how old has been the education system in India. It's a very old one. Now, if we consider Ramayana or Mahabharata to be true, if I consider this to be true, this kind of education system goes back to 500. What I understand is, even at least 5,000, 6,000 years ago, the education system was very dominant in India when we had the even if you talk about,
Hello.
I request you all to kindly mute your mic, otherwise it will not be possible to communicate. सारे लोगों से निवेदन है कि अपना माउस को म्यूट पर रखें.
मोटरसाइकिल
सारे लोग अपने माइक को म्यूट पे रखें. Am I audible right now? You can reply in the chat box. क्या मेरी आवाज आ रही है? बॉक्स में रिप्लाई करेंगे.
मैं एक सेकंड के लिए प्रियंक जी मैं एक सेकंड के लिए अपना माइक्रोफोन ऑन किया हूं. आप कृपया स्क्रीन पे आकर के सभी को एक बार समझा दीजिए हिंदी और अंग्रेजी में कि कैसे माइक्रोफोन को ऑफ करना है और क्यों ऑफ करना है.
सभी लोगों से निवेदन है कि आप माइक्रोफोन को म्यूट रखें. स्क्रीन पर एक माइक का बटन होगा, के बटन को क्लिक करें, रेड हो जाएगा. रेड होने के क्रम में आपकी आवाज इधर नहीं आएगी, अदरवाइज काफी नॉइज आएगा, कुछ सुन नहीं पाएंगे हम लोग, एक दूसरे को सुन नहीं सकते हैं. काइंडली अपने माइक्रोफोन को म्यूट करें.
तो सॉरी टू इंटरप्ट इन, ये थोड़ा सा इशू आ रहा है.
माइक्रोफोन को म्यूट करें, सिर्फ मेरा माइक्रोफोन चालू रहे. सभी लोग अपने माइक्रोफोन को म्यूट रखें। कृपया अपने माइक्रोफोन को म्यूट करें।
अभी नहीं सुना रहा है। ऑनलाइन हो रहे हैं ना
सर, अपने माइक्रोफोन को म्यूट रखें।
तो और सभी लोग आवाज सुना रहे हैं। फोटो उठो।
प्रियंका जी, मैं फिर से अपना माइक्रोफोन ऑन किया हूँ। कृपया उन्हें डिटेल में समझाइए, बहुत लोग समझ नहीं पा रहे हैं कि इसको माइक्रोफोन को कैसे ऑफ करना।
हम सबका इधर से ऑफ कर रहे हैं, अभी हम ही ऑफ कर दे रहे हैं।
नंदाल सर जुड़े। नहीं कैंडिडेट है।
अजय जी, आप फोन पे बात करना बंद कीजिए। अजय जी, अजय कुमार जी, आप फोन पे बात करना बंद कीजिए। ये आ रहा है, आपका आवाज इको हो रहा है। और इंस्ट्रक्टर का बात सुनिए, इंस्ट्रक्टर सर का बात सुनिए। वो जो कह रहे हैं हम लोग माइक्रोफोन को ऑफ कीजिए। आप कृपया फोन पे बात करते रहे। अजय कुमार जी प्लीज।
क्या मेरी आवाज अभी क्लियर है? सब लोग हाथ उठाएं अगर क्लियर है तो। काइंडली हाथ से इशारा कर दे अगर क्लियर है तो। थैंक यू सर। ओके, so right now I'm coming back to my presentation. Okay, so this is what I was talking about, that the history of education in Indian system. History of education in Indian system is a very old one. We had talked about Vedas, which was written in 1500 BC, Nalanda University, which was in 5th century, and even if you assume, if we consider that Mahabharata and Ramayana were real, and we assume that it was real, so the education system goes back to 5,000 6,000 years ago, when we assume that we had all the Gurukul and all those things were right over there. So the thing is, okay, the thing is that we had been into the education system since a very long time. Had been into the education system since a very long time, and since that long time, there has been a lot of degradation. Now the thing is, if we consider it 5,000 years ago, if I consider the situation 5,000 years ago, maybe India was the only country which was actually having a fantastic education system. But now, since that time, where do we stand? This becomes very, very important question, and this has to be thought of by every teacher, that 5,000-6,000 years ago, we were the only one which were imparting a very good education. But what happened after that? Why we are downgrading? Down the line, what exactly has happened? Once again, I request जो लोग अभी ज्वाइन किए हैं वो अपने माइक को म्यूट पे रखें। काइंडली अपने माइक को म्यूट पे रखें जो अभी ज्वाइन किए हैं। अपने माइक को म्यूट पे रखें।
अभी आप कीजिएगा तो आप अपना वीडियो।
मनोज कुमार पाठक जी, आप अपने माइक को म्यूट पे रखिए। कर रहे हैं, काइंडली अपने माइक को म्यूट पे रखिए।
ये वो अपना क्लास चला रहे हैं, आपको कनेक्टिंग टू ऑडियो करना है या कैंसिल करना है?
मान लीजिए वीडियो वाला मान लो करना है।
सारे लोगों से रिक्वेस्ट है अपना माइक म्यूट पर रखिए, अदरवाइज ये पॉसिबल नहीं होगा। डॉक्टर अनीता सिन्हा काइंडली अपने माइक को म्यूट पर रखिए। संजय दीपक जी अपने माइक को म्यूट पर रखिए। प्रेम शंकर जी अपने माइक को म्यूट पर रखिए।
म्यूट सर।
रानी जी अपने माइक को म्यूट पर रखिए प्लीज। ओके शोभा रानी जी अपने माइक को म्यूट पर रखिए काइंडली। So fine. The question is where do we stand? क्योंकि आखिर ऐसा क्या हो गया जिसके चलते ये हालत इतनी खराब हो गई, या इंडियन एजुकेशन सिस्टम अभी कहाँ पे स्टैंड कर रहा है वर्ल्ड में बाकी लोगों के कंपैरिजन में? Because right now, if you see the best university, Harvard University or Oxford University, Massachusetts University, all those universities are the top leaders. Where 5,000-6,000 years ago, we were the top leaders. India was supposed to be one of the best educational system. It was having one of the best education system. So somewhere in down the line, there has been some issues with the teachers and the students itself. That means जो लोग दे रहे हैं और जो लोग ले रहे हैं, इन दोनों में कहीं ना कहीं एक गैप है, एक समस्या एग्जिस्ट कर रही है। उस चीज का निवारण हम कैसे कर सकते हैं, इस चीज पर जोर देना अति आवश्यक है। It's very important that we should actually find out the trouble, find out the linkage, that where is that missing link, so that we can upgrade our educational system. So coming on to this, since this I have told you because it becomes one of the very important part of this particular training section. तो जब भी कोई टीचर सभी क्लास लेने जा रहे हैं या कुछ एक लेक्चर लेने जा रहे हैं, तो उनको उससे पहले एक तैयारी होनी चाहिए उस क्लास के लिए, और उस तैयारी को हम लोग नाम देते हैं, इट्स बेसिकली कॉल्ड अ लेसन प्लान. So if we come on to this lesson plan, let's see a typical definition that what exactly is a lesson plan. I'll give you a typical definition, what you call it as outline of the important points of a lesson arranged in the order in which they are to be presented to the students by the teacher. ये लाइन आप क्लियर कट बता रहा है कि आपके क्लास में जो चीज आप बताने वाले हैं, जिस नॉलेज को आप इम्पार्ट करने वाले हैं, जिस नॉलेज को आप देने वाले हैं, उसका आउटलाइन बहुत क्लियर होना चाहिए जो कि स्टूडेंट्स को दिया जाए. स्टूडेंट के पास पहला वो आउटलाइन जाना चाहिए जिसको हम लेसन प्लान कहते हैं, यानी कि हम उसको पढ़ाने से पहले एक ओवरव्यू देंगे जिसको हम लेसन प्लान कहते हैं. और शायद ये हम अपने अपने लेवल पे सारे टीचर्स इस चीज को करते हैं. ऑल ऑफ अस आर डूइंग समवॉट सिमिलर थिंग्स. We actually think of before getting into the class that what exactly has to be presented to the students, because students are the main beneficiary. They have to get benefited that from whatever we are imparting, and that is why we prepare ourselves. लेकिन समस्या यहाँ हर तरीके से आती है. कोई होंगे जो शायद घंटा भर प्रिपरेशन करके जाएंगे, कोई होंगे जो आधे घंटे प्रिपरेशन करके जाएंगे, कोई होंगे जो शायद 5 मिनट ही प्रिपरेशन करके अरे यार मेरे पास तो नोट्स है, हम उसको देख के आई कैन मूव अहेड. सो हर किसी का नजरिया एक अलग का रहता है अपने लेसन प्लान को इम्पार्ट करने के लिए. लेकिन वो नजरिया जो है, क्या वो वाकई हमारे स्टूडेंट को बेनिफिट कर रहा है, ये ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है सोचना. क्योंकि वो नजरिया भले ही मेरे पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से बिल्कुल सही है, वो नजरिया लेसन प्लान देने का मेरे नजर से बिल्कुल सही हो, पर जिनको हम दे रहे हैं शायद वो सही ना हो. तभी आप देखेंगे कि जिस तरह से हम इम्पार्ट कर रहे हैं वहां पे हर तरह का नंबर बच्चों को आता है. कोई बच्चा होता है जो बहुत अच्छी तरह पास करता है, और कोई बच्चा होता है जो बिल्कुल शायद पास ही ना कर पाए, काफी साल तक मेहनत करता है फिर भी पास नहीं कर पाता है. तो देयर आर डिफरेंट वेज कि आप इस चीज को एनालिसिस कैसे करते हैं. हर टीचर का अपना अपना सोचने का नजरिया होता है कि आखिर हम इस लेसन प्लान को कैसे देख रहे हैं. सो द फर्स्ट स्टेप टुवर्ड्स टीचिंग इज बेसिकली द लेसन प्लान. और इस लेसन प्लान के चलते दैट इज व्हाट अगर आप जो राइट साइड की स्क्रीन पे देखेंगे, हमने 2-3 वो क्लिप आर्ट्स वगैरह दिया हुआ है जिसमें वो सोच रहा है कि आखिर करना क्या है। पहला है क्वेश्चन मार्क, दूसरा है कुछ एनालिसिस और तीसरा है क्रिएशन। So this is the first thing is whether we are able to understand anything. The second thing is what kind of analysis we are doing. And the third part is, am I doing something creative? Am I doing something really creative? So this is the first step towards teaching, that the lesson plan has to be very, very perfect. And it should be adjustable. ये हर किसी के लिए valid होना चाहिए। जो lesson plan हम बता रहे हैं वो शायद हमारा जो फर्स्ट बेंच पर लड़का बैठा हुआ है उसके लिए भी वैलिड हो, और जो लास्ट बेंच पे बैठा हुआ हो जो शायद सो रहा होगा उसके लिए भी वैलिड होना चाहिए, और उसको भी इस चीज का अटेंशन मिलना चाहिए, उसे भी उस चीज की जानकारी होनी चाहिए, उस लड़के को भी इंटरेस्ट होना चाहिए कि आखिर सर का क्या बता रहे हैं। दैट इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। एंड एट द एंड जो हम लेसन प्लान जो भी दे रहे हैं उसका आउटकम क्या हो रहा है, that has to be analyzed. It's very important to analyze this kind of outcome. So coming on to the next slide, जो लेसन प्लान हम बना रहे हैं, तो ये एक बहुत जरूरी चीज है कि क्या वो एग्जीक्यूटेबल है, क्या हम रियली उस चीज जो भी हम प्लानिंग कर रहे हैं क्या उसको एग्जीक्यूट कर पाएंगे। इज इट ऐसा तो नहीं हो रहा है कि हम अपने मन से कुछ भी किसी का देख के बना दिए एंड आई एम नॉट एबल टू एग्जीक्यूट। So that is a very important part because we cannot do theoretically. आप 2-4 बुक अच्छी बुक पढ़ के और उसका आप अपने लेसन प्लान, because right now what we are doing is हमें बहुत तरीके से एक्रेडिटेशन और ये सारी चीजों में जाना होता है। तो हमने क्या किया है, हमने अपने ऊपर पूरी तरह से रिवर्स इंजीनियरिंग का कंसेप्ट अलाउ कर दिया है। अब हमारे पास सब्जेक्ट डिजाइन है, हम उसके हिसाब से अपना आउटकम और ऑब्जेक्टिव डिसाइड करते हैं। तो ये एक बड़ी अजीब सी बात है जो हमें नहीं करना चाहिए। सो रीजन व्हाई आई एम टेलिंग यू इज कि जो हम लेसन प्लान बना रहे हैं क्या वो एग्जीक्यूटेबल है, ये सोचना बहुत जरूरी है। अगर हम उस चीज को अच्छी तरह से एग्जीक्यूट कर पा रहे हैं तो हम जस्टिस करते हैं, अगर एग्जीक्यूट नहीं कर रहे हैं तो फिर बनाने का मतलब राइट। और अगर हम लेसन प्लान नहीं बना रहे हैं तो आई एम डूइंग अ ग्रेट इनजस्टिस टू माय स्टूडेंट। द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज whether is it pedagogy, क्या हम अपने pedagogy को इस executable lesson plan में deliver कर रहे हैं या नहीं, because pedagogy is an entirely different concept, it's an entirely different process which needs to be understood by some of the experts. My mentor Dr. Srivatsan is there, who is an expert in these things, and at some point of time he likes to talk about this as well, right? So pedagogically the idea is जो हम अपना लेसन प्लान बनाएं वो एग्जीक्यूटेबल हो, सो दैट शुड बी एग्जीक्यूटेबल लेसन प्लान एंड दैट शुड बी अकॉर्डिंग टू पेडागोजी। सो इट शुड बी अ पेडागोजी इंटीग्रेटेड एग्जीक्यूटेबल लेसन प्लान, वी कॉल इट एज PLP. So now the next question is, even if you make that even if I make a very good lesson plan, is passing exams the only objective of the student? Is it what we are waiting for? Is it what we are willing to have कि हमारे बच्चे एग्जाम पास कर जाएं, क्या सिर्फ हम इसीलिए पढ़ा रहे हैं? I think if we are doing that, again this is a different mindset which has to be changed. क्योंकि जब हम कभी भी अपने बच्चों की एडमिशन कराने के लिए किसी इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज में जाते हैं, अगर हम किसी इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज में बच्चे का एडमिशन कराने जा रहे हैं तो पहला क्वेश्चन हम अपने बच्चों के लिए पूछते हैं कि यहाँ पे प्लेसमेंट होता है। आखिर हम क्यों पूछते हैं प्लेसमेंट होता है? हम इसलिए तो नहीं पूछते कि मेरे बच्चे एग्जाम पास कर जाएं। Why I ask प्लेसमेंट होता है is because I want that my son or my daughter should be a very good engineer, और या फिर किसी भी कॉलेज जिस भी फील्ड में हो, हम चाहते हैं कि उस फील्ड का एक वाकई मास्टर बने मेरा जो भी किड है, राइट? That's what is our requirement. That is why we never ask कि यहाँ पे लोग बच्चे एग्जाम पास करते हैं कि नहीं, ये तो हम कभी पूछते ही नहीं। We actually try to ask that how good is the placement, because we want to see our kids as a very good engineer or a very good doctor or a very good researcher, and that is why we ask this question, right? So our objective as a teacher is to make a very good engineer, is to make a very good doctor, is to make a very good researcher, or is to make whatever fields they are into, right? our aim as a teacher should not be that we are only teaching our students to pass the exam, right? The second part is we are actually trying to make our students the industry ready one, because right now is the era of industry 4.0. इंडस्ट्री 4.0 बिल्कुल अलग है जो आप पहले की इंडस्ट्री देखे थे. पहले की इंडस्ट्री में थिंग्स वर प्रीटी डिफरेंट, लेकिन आज के इंडस्ट्री में यू हैव ऑटोमेशन, you have different automation, you have artificial intelligence, IoT, machine learning, deep learning. There are n number of things which are actually coming into. You have to solve the practical problem, apply the design concept. So we should make our students industry ready. It's not only about the industry, say like electronics engineering की हम बात कर रहे हैं. It's also about the medical science, right? It's also about the microbiology. Now imagine the practical problem what we are facing and why we are sitting in this particular virtual room. The reason is we have a COVID-19 virus which has come into, and this is the practical problem what our students are facing, right? So person who has actually got into microbiology or different kind of studies, he should not only be made ready just to pass the exam, rather he should be made ready to solve this kind of practical problem. COVID-19 is a universal problem which everybody in the world is facing, and our students should have the capability to solve this kind of problem. That is the kind of intention a teacher should have, and a teacher should project, right? Coming on to the other slide. So this is a very interesting slide, and I'll tell you that you have two different brains. You have two different brains, and one brain we call it as an excellent brain, and the other brain we call it as a poor brain. How do we say that? We actually say that we actually do the assessment, we actually do the examination, and we say that okay, जिसको 100 आया, जिसको 90 आया, he is an excellent man, और जिसको 40 आया, 30 आया, he is a poor man, right? He is a poor student. But can you tell me, sir, that did God make any difference in these two brains? I'm sure that no, it didn't make anything, right? So where is the catch? Where is the catch? It's because there is no difference in the structure of any of the student's brain. I believe both brains are same, right? So the catch is how good is their learning capability? If their learning capability is good, everybody, I mean, even if the poor student, if he has a very good learning capability, or if he is mentored in such a way so that he should have somewhat similar capability, all students are equivalent. No, everybody can speak 100%. But the problem comes when you look into the learning capabilities, because there are different types of learner, which we'll be discussing further into the slides. I have a different slide. So the best example what I would like to quote you is these two brains. There is no difference into the structure. Do you feel that there is any difference in the RNA and DNA of these things? Biology people can tell me much better. Then there is no difference over here. Right? सारी चीजें सेम है. Only there is a difference in the learning capability. And how the knowledge is really important. Right?
म्यूट कर दीजिए, म्यूट कीजिए.
Okay. So this is another important thing which has basically come up. In the past 20 years, we have actually heard about the Bloom's taxonomy. Everybody has a different way of presenting this Bloom's taxonomy, and somebody presents it like a hierarchical stuff, and somebody presents it in a different stuff. But the overall idea of this Bloom's taxonomy is from remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating. Finally, we need to create something. We need to design something. That's the overall idea. And that's what is the world aiming towards, and that is why we actually aim on to an outcome-based education system. This is the main requirement. But now we had been into this particular education, outcome-based education. But are we really doing this? Are we really trying to give a justice? I told you right now that what we did, we were actually given the task of this Bloom's taxonomy. Sir, believe me, I mean, I'm not sure of the other people, but I know many of the people. What we have done is we have done a totally different kind of reverse engineering. We had actually the syllabus available with us, and then we had all the courses done. And at some point of time, we actually did the reverse engineering just to map this Bloom's taxonomy to my subject. I think most of us have done this kind of stuff, right? We have actually gone in the reverse way, right? But the idea is we should plan our each and every class in such a way so that this particular thing is satisfied, this is justified, right? So now, keeping this in mind, let's have a typical, definition of Bloom's taxonomy. That what it is doing. What Bloom's taxonomy implies is that depending on the choice of level that we wish to target imparting a lesson in our course, we need to be explicit about the ways we wish to engage the students of the class in learning activities and formative assessment to achieve the instructional objective stated at that level. Now, let's go back and let's see this thing again. What I told was, at different levels, how we are trying to engage our student is very important. So maybe in a particular class, what we are trying to do to just engage the student, right? Say for example, at a particular level, remembering what we do to engage our students, understanding how we are making them to understand. Am I justifying all this? मृत्युंजय दीपक जी, आप अपने मोबाइल, आप अपने माइक्रोफोन को म्यूट पे रखें काइंडली. मृत्युंजय दीपक जी. So if I'm talking about the level applying, so whether I am able to tell my students that you should do something so that you should apply that, how we are engaging that student, analyze how we are analyzing the problems. So all these things are supposed to be delivered. And this is not only like कि हम पूरा कोर्स डिजाइन करके उसमें Bloom's taxonomy include कर रहे हैं. Absolutely no. We need to actually think about this thing in our daily class, daily routine, that how we are actually imparting this Bloom's taxonomy in practical things, right? So that is why whatever instructional objective I have, am I really justifying that? Am I really achieving my instructional objective from this particular Bloom's taxonomy level? That's why I have written that are we moving in the right direction? मनोज कुमार पाठक जी, आप अपने माइक्रोफोन को म्यूट पर रखें काइंडली. Are we moving in the right direction? This is the question which everybody has to ask. Everybody has to ask in his mind. मनोज कुमार पाठक जी, आप अपने माइक को म्यूट पर रखें. Okay. So now let's go at a revised Bloom's taxonomy, which I could get from a typical source. Let's see this Bloom's taxonomy revised. Now, it's not a hierarchical approach. The approach is entirely different. And let's say at level 1, let's ask the same question: can the learner recall or remember the information? तो ये सवाल हम अपने आप एज अ टीचर पूछ रहे हैं कि हमने जिस स्टूडेंट को ये चीज पढ़ाया, क्या वो उस इंफॉर्मेशन को रिकॉल करते हैं? ये एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन है. द सेकंड लेवल, व्हेन यू टॉक अबाउट द अंडरस्टैंडिंग, कैन द लर्नर एक्सप्लेन आइडियाज और कंसेप्ट? हमने जो पढ़ाया उस चीज का एक्सप्लेनेशन क्या वो कर पा रहे हैं? अब उसका तरीका डिफरेंट है. या तो वो या तो हम पूछेंगे कि आप क्लासीफाई करिए, आप जस्टिफाई करिए, डिस्क्राइब करिए, डिस्कस करिए. एन नंबर ऑफ थिंग्स आर गिवन इनटू द Bloom's taxonomy लेवल. लेट्स गो टू अप्लाई. हमने जो पढ़ाया, क्या वो उसको दूसरे तरीके से अप्लाई कर सकता है? That's another thing when you talk about. Now this question is being asked by the teacher itself, क्योंकि ये हमें अपने मन में ही पूछना होगा कि क्या हम जो भी कर रहे हैं उस चीज को जस्टिफाई कर रहे हैं या नहीं. अब ये सारी बातें जो हम कर रहे हैं, इट्स एक्चुअली रिलेटेड टू सारे हर दिन के क्लास के लिए ये चीज वैलिड है. नंबर 4, एनालाइजिंग. कैन द लर्नर डिस्टिंग्विश बिटवीन डिफरेंट पार्ट्स? हमने दे दिया कि ठीक है, एक आदमी है, एक औरत है. आर यू एबल टू डिस्टिंग्विश? Right, आप remember भले कर रहे हैं, but you should be able to distinguish based on different parameters. You should be able to differentiate. You should be able to examine. Right. The other one is to evaluate. Can the learner justify a stand or decision? You need to find out a way. You should be able to judge that particular problem. That हम अपने स्टूडेंट को इस तरह से बताएं कि वो उस चीज को जज कर पाए कि हमने जो बताया है या उसको किसी नए तरीके से इंक्लूड करना है, इन्वॉल्व करना है, उस चीज को बताना है. he should be ready for that. He should be able to judge. He should be able to make the differences. ये चीज उसको बताना होगा. And the last point, the most important और जो आज के डेट में बहुत जरूरी हो गया है, can the learner create a new product or a point of view? People actually keep on talking about हमें innovate करना है, innovations करना है. you know, in the Global Innovation Index, India was few years ago ranked at around 55 or so. But right now, keeping into these things account, India has gone up to around 60, roughly around 60, right? So in the Global Innovation Index, India is rapidly increasing, and I expect that with a difference in this education system, obviously we can make a huge difference. So these are the Bloom's taxonomy revised, which should be asked by the teacher himself, that whether whatever things are there, am I able to justify, am I able to, give a justice to my students or not? That's very important. Now, let's go to, after this, exactly the question is what we realize. So what we realized is, if you look into this picture at the bottom, the thing is, class से पहले हमें सोचना होगा what I am teaching, how will I teach, who am I teaching, how will I know that the students are, whether they are understanding or not, right? These are the questions. So now the thing is, in place of a theoretical lesson plan, we should come out with a executable lesson plan. कि हम ये नहीं कि थ्योरी में ही बात कर रहे हैं कि हमें हमारा लेसन प्लान ऐसा होना चाहिए, वैसा होना चाहिए. जो वाकई कर सकते हैं वो ज्यादा जरूरी है. लेसन प्लान हमें उस तरह से बनाना चाहिए जिसको हम एग्जीक्यूट कर सकते हैं, हर क्लास में उस चीज को बता सकते हैं कि वो चीज कैसा होगा, राइट? और हम जिस चीज को रिवाइज कर रहे हैं, हम जिस चीज को बना रहे हैं, उस चीज को हम डिलीवर कर पाए, वो एक बहुत जरूरी चीज है. एंड द सेकंड पॉइंट इज, जो एग्जीक्यूटेबल लेसन प्लान है, दैट शुड बी इंटीग्रेटेड विथ योर पेडागोजिकल मेथड्स, पेडागोजिकल जो प्रोसेसेस हैं हमारे, उस चीज को उसमें इंक्लूड करना होगा. The reason being is, until and unless you get into pedagogy, a proper pedagogy, you won't be able to give the justice to your students, the justice to your learners, because I told you example of the first bench and the last bench. So that part has to be justified कि भाई हमारे first bench वाले तो बड़े attentive रहते हैं, but last bench वालों को अगर जरूरी पड़ा तो मोबाइल निकाल के वो पीछे में बात भी कर लेते हैं, right? So our scheme, our pedagogy should be in such a way so that everybody is attracted the way we actually teach. It's very important, right? Now, the other thing is, let's talk about a course objective. So ultimately, different lesson जो हमारे executable lesson plans हैं, वो सारे चीज उससे जो हमारा learning objective जो daily का निकल रहा है, that will actually make a course objective. So the overall course objective should have stated course objectives which are to be demonstrably achieved by the students who are completing the course. In this way, we implement the outcome-based education. Now the thing is, whatever we have talked about, जो outcome-based education का concept जो भी हम बात कर रहे हैं, if we are actually following the Bloom's taxonomy, right? So based on that, we are devising our lesson plan. तो हर लेसन प्लान में वी आर एक्चुअली ट्राइंग टू अप्रोच कि आखिर किस तरह से हमारे बच्चे उस चीज को समझेंगे और समझने के बाद उस चीज को अप्लाई करेंगे, उस चीज से कुछ नई चीजें बनाएंगे. दे आर गोइंग टू इनोवेट. सो अल्टीमेटली हर दिन का जो अलग अलग लेसन प्लान होगा, हर दिन का जो भी हमारा ऑब्जेक्टिव होगा, जो इंस्ट्रक्शन ऑब्जेक्टिव होगा, जो लर्निंग ऑब्जेक्टिव होगा, वो सब मिला के विल कम आउट विथ अ कोर्स ऑब्जेक्टिव. सो दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. दैट कोर्स ऑब्जेक्टिव will lead to a typical outcome based education जो हम expect कर रहे हैं कि हमारे बच्चे कैसे होने चाहिए, आखिर इसका outcome क्या है. That's very important. Let's talk about how to design a executable lesson plan. Now this is a very important part because daily we need to go for a class, or maybe अगर week में हमारे 3 classes हैं तो we can at least spend at least an hour or hour or 2 just to understand कि आखिर हम किस तरीके से अपने लेसन प्लान को बनाएं so that वो हमारे बच्चों को समझ में आए. So let's try to understand this part. I've just put a typical clip arts and which shows that what are the different parts of a lesson plan. If you look over here, there are some objectives and goals. तो हर क्लास का कुछ ना कुछ ऑब्जेक्टिव होता है. Either maybe let's say if I'm going to teach viscosity, right? I'm a fluid dynamics man, so if I want to teach viscosity, my objective is my student should be able to understand that what exactly is viscosity and how they can differentiate between different kind of fluids based on what parameters, right? So that is a typical objective or my goal. My student should be able to understand this. Now, in order to do that, what are my direction instructions? What instructions I have to give? What is the resources we require? That means what are the materials and equipments we require just to deliver that thing? What are the anticipatory sets? What are the guided practices? क्या practices है जिसको हम follow करें? Independent practices. बच्चों को क्या करना चाहिए ताकि वो हमारे समझ में आए? Assessments and follow-ups. आखिर हम किस तरीके से assessment करें उस चीज का? There are n number of assessments, and if you refer to any of the good books related to this lesson planning and all those things, you'll see that there are plenty of assessment things which are available, right? So you need to understand that how are your students and what way we are actually doing the assessment. And then again is the follow-up. हमने जो assessment करी है, fine. Shall we take the examination and forget that what we have done? No, we should continuously follow up those things, right? And ultimately a closer which will tell you that, okay, fine, I have taught this many things, so will my student be able to apply it practically? हमने अपनी सारी चीजें कर ली, सारे इंस्ट्रक्शंस दे दिए, और उस इंस्ट्रक्शंस के बाद क्या एक प्रैक्टिकल प्रॉब्लम हमारा स्टूडेंट उस चीज को कर पाएगा या नहीं कर पाएगा? दैट इज अगेन अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग व्हिच हैज टू बी टेकन इनटू कंसीडरेशन, राइट? The first step is you need to think of, if I don't know what to teach, right? Now, if you don't know what to teach, it's really a very bad thing, and you will never do justice to the student community. Because it's very important. If I go to a class and if I don't know exactly that what I'm going to teach, say for example, I have seen several. I mean, even when I was a student, or I have seen so many people who actually come up with a set of notes and they start dictating. See, I'll tell you, sir, very frankly, all of you are from teaching community and you are well expert. I know that everybody is a very good expert in his own field. I'm not so experienced, but still I know that people start teaching with their notes, and see, if you start dictating or if you start giving those kind of stuff, students actually feel bored and they actually don't get what is required. So the thing is, if you don't know what to teach, you should actually come out with the help. You should ask in your mind that, hell, I'm not ready to teach. Keep this, ask yourself that I'm not able to teach, right? If I'm not able to teach, what shall I do? This all are my internal questions which has to be considered into the mind itself. See, if you keep on asking your mind that what I have to teach, obviously the answer will come into your mind itself, right? So this is a very important thing. आप अपने आप से ही पूछिए ना, अगर आप क्लास लेने जा रहे हैं, आपको नहीं पता है, ask yourself. You'll get the answer, sir, right? I know that all of us know all these things, but this has to come out some way, right? Even when I joined this institute, and for very first few classes, I'm telling you very frankly that teaching was a very, very difficult job for me, right? I did my post-graduation and joined over here. Sir, believe me, it was a very hectic task for me, because for teaching the subject, I had to read at least 2 to 3 hours. I had to spend a lot of time just for understanding the concept, because I was supposed to deliver, right? Once these things, because daily I have to prepare a lesson plan. कि आखिर हम अपने बच्चों को क्या पढ़ाएं? It's not like I go onto the blackboard and put a derivation and say that, okay, you derive this and this is done. I do a derivation, what do I get out of that derivation? Right? That should be the question you should ask yourself. If I show this, what my students are going to learn? These are some of the typical questions which actually everybody should ask. Okay. So the aim, let's talk about the aim of the lesson and its planning. So now the thing is, let's try to figure out that after the class, what the student will be able to do, right? This is what we had been talking about. So the thing is, whatever objective we decide, it should be measurable and quantifiable, right? We actually need to talk in the highest level of hierarchy, right? The thing is, why I'm talking about this is, I mean, based on this slide, you may ask that, sir, आप क्या बात कर रहे हैं? ये कुछ अजीब सी बात हो रही है, बिल्कुल थोड़ा डिफरेंट जा रहा है, right? But the thing is, आखिर जो हम instructional objective देंगे, right? Let's analyze 2 objectives. The students will be able to describe fluids based on different parameters. This is the first objective which I see. The second objective is the student will be able to categorize fluids based on different parameters, right? I have written two instructional objective for a class, right? Now the question is, what do you say? Both are same or both are different? Right. At first glance, you may see that both seems to be almost similar, right? Seems to be almost similar, but if you look into this, if I look over here, the second one is actually impactful or measurable, or we need to exercise our mind. See, these concepts are entirely, individual based. I'm telling you because everybody will have a different concept कि आखिर इस चीज को देखने का नजरिया हर किसी के पास अलग अलग होगा, right? So one of the way to look into this is the students will be able to categorize. So this makes it impactful. You can write the students will be able to identify the parameters on which we are categorizing the fluids. So basically what we are trying to do is to increase the Bloom's taxonomy level, right? So this is a typical instructional objective we can devise in our lesson plans. The teacher should have a clear aim of the lesson and should plan accordingly. And whatever we are going to present in the class, it should be very clear to them. See, why I am telling all these things is because we actually using all these concepts ultimately into the learning management systems, right? That's why I'm telling you, everybody has a different mindset and everybody will understand these things differently, right? So it's not like कि हर किसी के हिसाब से ये सही हो, it's not like that, right? So the first thing is a teacher should have a clear aim. तो आपके aim बिल्कुल clear होने चाहिए कि हम आज क्लास में जा रहे हैं तो उस चीज को, say for example we are taking the online classes, we should be clear of that online classes, that if you are aiming into the online classes, what we are aiming should be very, very clear and it should be planned accordingly, right? A teacher should know how to introduce and present the lesson, right? So how to introduce, how to make it, how to attract your students, what are the presentation things, what are the resources available. Say for example, the last point, a teacher should be aware of the available aids for teaching. What are the available aids for teaching? Do I have a Blackboard? Do I have a, ICT? Do I have a different kind of things? I think somebody has some problem, looks like. Chat box. Okay. Everybody's microphone is not muted. So can you please everybody mute microphone? Okay. Fine. Should be available of the age which is available to the teacher, that should be taken into account. Okay. So based on that, I just found this words of Laster B, which was a really good thing which was kept. Lesson plan is actually a plan of action. This is basically what we are going to do. It therefore includes the working philosophy of a teacher, his knowledge of philosophy, his information about and understanding of pupils, his comprehension of the objectives of education, his knowledge of the material to be taught, and his abilities to utilize effective material. Now see, I have underlined few of the points. The working philosophy of the teacher should be very clear. The knowledge of his philosophy should be very clear. And understanding of his pupils, that means what kind of students you are handling, that should be very clear, right? Because it is very important to know that what are the prerequisites available with my students. The students, one of the students may be very good in, let's say, the prerequisite which is required for this course, but the other person might not be. So you should be aware of the prerequisites and the lesson planning should be done accordingly, so that it is equivalent, it is actually good for even the slow learners as well as fast learners, right? This comprehension of objectives of education, what we are going to impart should be very clear. The objective should be very clear. The knowledge of the material to be taught, right? What material you are talking, the knowledge should be very fine. And how to utilize the effective material, that is very important. So this is what were the words of Laster B. I liked it, that's why I kept it over here. So based on whatever we have come out, the advantages of lesson planning are some of the advantages which I have just talked out. A systematic and orderly treatment of the subject matter, thought of and definite lines, no unwanted line. Let's say systematic and orderly treatment of the subject matter. What way we are going? We need to finalize our lesson plans accordingly, so that I have a systematic treatment of the subject. Well thought of and definite lines. That means we should not go away from our actual aim. We should not violate. We should not go away from our lines. We have actually a defined line that we have to talk about this into the class, and we should not talk about anything else. That line should be perfect, and you should be you should have a well thought of things. Attract the attention of all the students with his well planned matter. This is what I was talking about. You have different kind of students into your class, so you should be able to attract the attention of all the students with his well planned matter. चाहे वो फ्रंट बेंच पे बैठा हो या लास्ट बेंच पे बैठा हो, आपका मटेरियल ऐसा होना चाहिए so that you are able to attract your students. Basically, you need to attract your students, right? Well planned activities will keep your students attentive. Say for example, practical problem showcasing. आप एक practical problem अगर उसको आप करके दिखाएंगे, say for example, I have seen some of the teachers who are actually taking the classes in I think I forgot the university name, but he was talking about some kind of simple pendulum. Let me tell you, sir, the way that teacher was presenting, he actually took a typical pendulum and showed it in his class that how the pendulum is working. That's a practical example, and if I'm able to showcase this kind of stuff, it will be very good. Then another thing is use of ICT. I should be able to use. There are so many contents which are available through different resources. There are nets, through internet, there are videos, there are different kind of stuff which are available. So I should be able to use all those stuff so that I can keep my students attentive in the classes, right? Say for example, I'll tell you a typical thing. I'm basically a mechanical engineer and I'm expertise in fluid dynamics. So whenever I'm talking about some kind, whenever we need to talk about some kind of things, for example, I need to talk about laminar under turbulent. I actually show them that what are laminar flows and turbulent flows. I don't show them drawing on the sketch. I take the help of a projector and show them that, okay, see, this is what is laminar and practical application. Say, for example, if you look into a river, you can easily distinguish between a laminar and a turbulent flows over there. See any of the incense stick smoke, you can see the laminar differences can be seen over there. Same way, in your field of expertise, you can have a different practical problems for showcasing. A person who is from botany or maybe from geology, you can think of the problems accordingly. You can think of different kinds of resources which is available onto the internet. Nowadays, most of the students are actually having their mobile phone. So you can also have a WhatsApp group and send them that, okay, fine, you just look into this video. This will give you a clear-cut idea. These are some of the ways how you can keep your students connected with everybody, right? With you. The another thing is, very broadly, I'm talking about that. What are the steps involved in executable lesson planning? What way we look into that? This is a very broad classifications. A teacher can restructure these things, right? One thing is preparation. It's a very important thing. Understanding your students for imparting knowledge. So you need to do the preparation yourself. How we can impart our knowledge, we need to understand. That's why I told you, you should be aware of your students. कि उनके पास किस तरह का knowledge पहले से मौजूद है. There will be a student who is very good in mathematics, right? If he is good in mathematics, the other student may not be. आप क्वेश्चन देंगे तो एक बड़ी जल्दी सॉल्व कर देगा, दूसरा वाला नहीं कर पाएगा. So you should be aware of that and how to cater those problems. That has to be looked into. The thing is presentation, right? For the presentation, aim should be clearly stated to have a strong relation between the teachers and students. Discussions is very important, and then you need to have an innovative idea. So that whatever aim I'm giving, whatever instructional objective I'm giving, so that should be very clear between the teacher and the students, so that the linkage is very strong. right? Whatever I'm taking, it is being, whatever I'm giving, it is being readily acceptable by the students, right? There is some problem of echo. Somebody is reporting. I request all of you to kindly keep your microphone on mute. Request all of you to kindly keep your microphone on mute. See, the other part is, once again, I'll tell you that the steps involved in executable lesson planning, it's a very broad step. You can think of in your own way. You can devise all these all these things in your own way. It's not like you have to follow whatever I'm telling, right? You can have your own concept, but that should be really executable one. The other thing is comparison or association. Examples for clarity and its comparison with other facts. Basically, I talked about the practical problems. When I'm teaching something, I should be able to correlate or compare with some kind of practical problem that, okay, fine, हमने इस चीज को बताया और ये देखिए practically ऐसा होता है, right? So if you give this kind of comparative stuff, if you give a lot of examples, this will attract the attention of the students as well as this will make them to understand as well very properly, right? Generalization, aim of the lesson to be achieved by reflective thinking. What the students are understanding, this is very important. So a discussion, a proper discussion is required just to see that what kind of reflective thinking we are actually getting from the students. Because when you are telling something, they are also having a mindset and they are also trying to understand. So what they are understanding, it should be known to us. We should be able to understand. How we can achieve this? We can achieve it by proper discussion, right? I know that it's very difficult when you talk about a classroom of around 200 students. It's going to be really tough, right? But then again, you need to devise your lesson plan in such a way so that I should be able to cater all the students in some ways or other, right? That's why I told you, think of resources available. आखिर हम क्या करें कि सारे बच्चों को पकड़ के रखें, right? The knot should be tied to them that what shall I do so that everybody is attentive in the class. Right. Application. Apply the acquired knowledge in new problem. Now, this is, again, if you look over here, the application is the 5th or 6th level of your Bloom's taxonomy. Recapitulation. Regular assessment, I have written it as class-wise. Now, regular assessment, what basically I'm trying to say is, if I take a class, I should be able to assess my students on a regular basis. After the class, I must give them some assignment and I should ensure that those assignments are complete. So that is again a very important thing. So this is basically a very broadly I have classified that how you can prepare your executable lesson plan. So I'll discuss some of the typical lesson plans over here. Fine. This is another a very interesting thing. I'll tell you that what are the hurdles we are facing, right? So when you might have devised a very nice lesson plan, but what are the hurdles? The hurdles are basically the categories of learners. This is what I was talking about. So there are few definitions which I just took it from the internet and it was very nice. I thought fine, I'll show it to you. So learning is understood as a relatively permanent influence of the behavior, knowledge and thinking skills that come out through experience. While fast learner will move faster than moderate learner, a slow learner may easily be ignored in the class by the teacher as well as peers. This is what I wanted to tell you, that most of the time, जो बच्चे पीछे बैठे हैं या जो ध्यान नहीं दे रहे हैं, they actually are ignored by the teachers, right? And that is why I told you when I showed you the class of that, when I showed you the slide of that brain, not two brains, both the brains are identical, but it has happened because we have actually not concentrated on the slow learner, right? And that is why broadly it is classified as the different types of learner as slow, medium and fast, right? And the next point, if you read over here, a great reward for any teacher is to successfully facilitate a slow learner to excel beyond their expectation. Slow learners denote those students who are able to learn necessary academic skill but at rate and depth below average same age peers. Most slow learners are usually left behind the course of a semester if teacher sticks to an ivory tower understanding. Fine, this is just a typical theoretical thing, but let me tell you that a teacher, the best thing what I could read over here, a great teacher, a great reward for a teacher is to successfully facilitate a slow learner to excel beyond their expectation. So now the idea is, that's why I told you that everybody is 100%. Only the slow learners have to be given something more, right? And who will decide the slow learner? It's the teacher who has to decide. That's why I told you that you need to understand your pupils. You need to understand your students, that who is what, right? If you are able to make the slow learner equivalent at par with the fast learners, that is an achievement. That is what a teacher is actually made for, right? And that is why we need to do. So what they need, they might need some kind of motivations, they might need some kind of additional resources. From where will I give this? This is actually supposed to be given from an executable lesson plan. In fact, pedagogy integrated executive lesson plan, which will actually cater the needs of all the slow, medium, and fast learners, right? And that is why devising a proper lesson plan is very, very important, right? So this is what I have written over here. A well-planned lesson plan should have the provision of catering all types of learners. That means I should be able to address all the learners, slow, medium, or fast, right? That is what my lesson plan should carry. So the major components of an executable lesson plan. So this is as per, this actually made this, and how it will look like. Say for what way I am making the lesson plans. This is like date and time and room, because date and time, room number is very important so that the students are not confused. Many a times, say for example at BIT Mesra, there are n number of classrooms. So many a times, those students actually keep on searching that kahan pe hoga hamara class. So sometimes room are changed. So that those things has to be made clear in advance. Okay, this is the date, this is the time, this is the room number. That has to be very much written onto the lesson plan. The learning objective should be very clear. You should be able to identify the anticipatory sets and hooks. What are the resource material available? If possible, give some video links, give some illustrations, so that they are aware of that what the teacher is going to teach. A teacher model, learning activities, what we are going to learn in this, and what are the activities which we are going to see. Independent practice, how we are going to do the independent practice. Assessment, how we are going to do the assessment. Resources, what are the resources available, and then what are the reflections, right? These are some of the important things. And I would like to, what are the thought process for this executable lesson plan? These are the questions which will help you out. Say for example, the learning outcome, the first part. The question is, what course goals or outcomes will this design address? That means what are our objectives we are going to decide. This is important. Essential questions. What questions will your student be able to answer by the end of instructions, right? So once the instructions are given, what are the objectives you are going to attain? Resources. What resources can be made available to your students to support their learning activities? Active learning. What formats are best suited to complement your students' course material? So what are the resources? Whether we have a chalk and board practice, or we have a projector, or we have a smart board, digital board. What are the materials available? Videos, photographs, posters. These are the resource material which are supposed to be made available, and this should be given to them well in advance. Evidence of student learning. How will you assess your students' prior knowledge? That means the prerequisite has to be assessed. That is why I told you that whether we are going to have who is going to understand what. So you should be aware of the students. What criteria will be used to assess students' performance? What way, whether you're going to take some examinations, some assignment, these things have to be checked into. What evidence will be collected by demonstrating the achievement, to demonstrate achievement? How will student reflect and self-assess their learning? All these are questions which will help you out to make a typical lesson plan. Anticipatory hooks, sets and hooks. How will you introduce the material and capture the attention of the student? This is another question. Teacher modeling. What instructional content and techniques will be incorporated into this lesson? Guided practice. how will you scaffold information from your students? How will collaborative learning be used? You have delivered the lecture, and then how will you find out that what they have learned, right? So you can give a daily assignment and find out that, okay, fine, whatever they have learned is all right. What next you have to do? Because it's basically like a feedback control system, right? Whatever we are delivering, we should get a feedback. It should not be a open loop system. It should be a closed loop system, because ultimately it should not be a one-way traffic. You should come to know that what your students are understanding, and that way you can modify yourself, right? So lesson plan can be a iterative procedure as well. Learning activities. How will students actively engage with the material? How will students work towards achievement of your learning outcomes, right? There are independent practice. How will students show the evidence of learning? Give them assignments, they'll submit those assignments. Reflection. What have you learned from your teaching and covered in this unit, right? These are the reflections, kind of a assessment. What changes or adjustment could you make for the feature of your unit? What are your overall reflections in the course? Conclusion. So what are the takeaways they can do? So the last line, which was given by David, is a very good line I could see. Nothing is so fatal for a teacher as unpreparedness. If you are not prepared before the class, it's actually very difficult. And once again, I will emphasize that you're not doing just to the student, right? So in order to have a lesson plan, I have a typical lesson plan which I'll show you, which I made for my students. Just one second, I'm just opening this PDF file. Okay. So this is a typical which I kept it for my students. And say, for example, I have kept the date and time, because in my department there is only one classroom, so there is absolutely no problem of classroom confusions. So the date and time is given. What are the learning objectives? So I have tried to keep it simple as well as measurable. So say describe the concept. What are the objectives? Like differentiate. They should be able to differentiate. Identify some of the parameters, right? So I'm basically talking about some kind of viscosity. Now, the thing is, what are the anticipatory sets and hooks? So I have just made this particular, thing that focus will be made to discuss the origin of viscosity, and all these things I have written that what I'll be delivering into the class. And I have shown a typical figure which shows that what I'm going to discuss. So this illustration makes it very clear that, okay, this is a different kind, viscosity of different nature. This will look something like this, right? Then how we are going to teach this class? But lesson will be taught with the help of presentation and suitable videos. I have given a typical introductory video which is available on this link, so they can look into this link prior to coming into my class. So this will give them a fair idea that, okay, what sir is going to talk about. This will give a very good idea before they come into. Then the learning activities. The students will have to engage in one-to-one discussions. I want that if I teach them, we should have some kind of discussions so that it is always beneficial for them. Now, independent practice. Summarized report of the class should be given by the students, or you can use a learning management system portal. Assessment. The student will have to appear. The student will have to appear on an online page of during the class. This is what I've given. So I take hold of the MS portal and engage them for 10 minutes. They just have to give some kind of analysis. I'm able to understand that what my students should. Then the resources. The teacher presentation and few lectures will be made available to the students as a resource material. And the last point is reflection. Students need to figure out the type of practically how they are going to utilize it. So this is a typical example of lesson plan which actually I use. So,
Priyank, sorry to disturb you.
Please mute the mic.
We are not going to hear anything from another side.
All are requested to kindly mute. Okay. So anyway, I can always share this. Sir, please mute the mic. Dr. Gajendra Singh, kindly mute the mic. Anup Kumar ji, kindly mute the mic. So for the lesson planning, there are again few questions I'd like to tell you that at the start, I plan to what? I plan to review prior learning. So I plan to do prior learning and student teacher expectations, make the learning. So there are n number of things which you can actually figure out that before I enter into the class, what I am going to do, right? Halfway, I plan to apply strategies, utilize a variety of media, make sure that the lesson flow easily. So there are different things. There are different ways you can make your lesson plan. You can design your lesson plan, and at the end, you need to assess your students. You need to summarize the lesson plan, and you need to reflect that what my students can do, right? This is how you need to prepare a typical lesson plan before getting into the classes, right? So now for different lesson planning, lesson plan 1, 2, 3. So for all the classes, this whole lesson plan will actually map onto your course objective and course outcome, right? So this will actually create a typical course objective. So now we don't need to get into the reverse engineering. Rather, from the lesson plan itself, we'll be able to find out your course objective as well as course outcome, right? And the question is what next, right? So the answer is, in order to have all this, the best part is to have a learning management system so that I can take care of most of the things. Sir, I'll tell you that if you have a proper learning management system, you can devise your lesson plan accordingly, and it will be very useful for you to do the different kind of assessments, reflection, assignment, all these things. And that is why I've just copied this from Wikipedia. Learning management system is a software application for administration, documentation, tracking, reporting, and delivery of educational resources, training programs, learning, assessment, and development program. So the examples of learning management systems are, there are so many learning management systems which are available these days. Moodle is there, Canvas is there, Talent LMS, and there are many more, right? But basically we prefer Moodle because capabilities. Moodle has a lot of capabilities, and it's an open source, it's a free program. So we can utilize this very easily. So this Moodle, I'll be talking about this Moodle tomorrow, that how we can utilize this Moodle and how to create our own Moodle cloud and how to do the online teaching using this Moodle. I'll talk about this in tomorrow's session, right? So the basic idea is to just make you aware that why a lesson plan is required and how this lesson plan will be implemented onto a learning management system, right? This was the major idea. And these lesson planning, all these things, how we are catering it using a typical LMS platform. I'm telling you, sir, that if you use this kind of platform, you can assess all your students individually. You can assess the performance of each and every student individually. It's a very good thing. Now you may have the question that, sir, even we are actually following the lesson plans, or we are taking the classes through Google Hangouts, or maybe somebody is taking from Zoom, then why to get into Moodle? Because Moodle is going to be complicated in comparison to your Google Meet or WhatsApp or other things. So let me tell you that Moodle is a complete learning management system. You don't get all these things in case of any other software, any other, say Google Hangout. Those are basically the communication tools, right? These things are a proper learning management system where you can get all the curves required, what kind of assessments you need to do. You can look into different logs that when the students are joined, you can place all the resource material and a number of things which can be utilized in this learning management software, right? So we'll be talking about the Moodle Cloud tomorrow, and I request Srivatsan sir to kindly, if you are there, Srivatsan sir. Yeah, sir, would you like to add something over here, kindly?
Well, many of the things you spoke on in my papers, you have read through them, and it will be nice, this presentation and those papers are kept in some downloadable site so that people can download and use it.
Sir, I'll make it available to them.
I'm also writing a proposal on how we established our Jharkhand education grid. Is now in principle approved already by Jharkhand government to help all the colleges and universities establish these facilities. And I'm just trying to see how we can set up a virtual team to establish this, because we can't physically work together, particularly the IT professionals who have to work together. So we are trying to create something. We do hope in a month we'll have something.
Thank you so much, sir. So I'll be ending the meeting right now, and we'll be meeting at the same tomorrow. I'll give you the schedule for the training session. I'll again send you an email. If anybody has any queries or questions, they can mute and talk to me right now. Anybody is having any queries?
On the aspect of pedagogy, I will give a separate lecture. The only thing is, I am wondering how I can do it from Bhubaneswar. Listening in Bhubaneswar, can I deliver the lecture from Bhubaneswar? If that is available, I can also add some of these lectures.
Yeah, sure, sir. So we can sit down and chalk out this plan so that this pedagogy lecture could be done. If anybody has any query, kindly raise your hand so that we can talk if anything is required, or else